Hello and welcome to Sitting in the Power with Scott Milligan. My name is Sandra Champlain. I am the host of We Don't Die Radio and also the author of the book, We Don't Die, A Skeptic's Discovery of Life After Death. And I met Scott just over 4 years ago. He is one of my closest friends. And as a tutor, he is just phenomenal. He is one of the world's leading physical mediums, tutor of trance and the altered states. And we're really here now to help quiet us all down with our sitting in the power. He'll explain what it is, but it's necessary for our soul. It helps heal the planet. It does so many things. And so we decided to offer just this complimentary time with you, and so you get a little taste of it. And I think that's all I have to say. I'm going to turn it over to Scott. He'll tell you a little bit more, and then we'll just dive right in. Just ask that you are sitting in a place where no one will disturb you, where you can close your eyes and just relax. Okay, over to you, Scott.
Thank you, Sandra, and thank you everyone who is spending a little bit of time in the company of friends. For me, sitting in the power is like food for my soul, food for my being. And as a medium, I realize that if I don't sit in the power, that my mediumistic capability seems to kind of level off. It seems to just plateau. And each time I sit in the power, it's like me extending that muscle of being quiet within my own being. Now, for myself, sitting in the power is different to meditation. Meditation will take you through a mental practice, whatever that may be. You can ask certain questions and you kind of talk to the inner voice, and that may reveal some answers to you. But sitting in the power is sitting within the awareness of self, within the soul, but also connecting with the invisible force of God. You know, I find it very difficult to use the word God because of my way of thinking of how religion has been man-made. But the true purpose of sitting in the light of the great creator and being one. Now, as a medium, we go through many layers. We go from layer within layer. And as we start to quieten our mind, we move into an active state, maybe within mental mediumship. And sitting for the power is moving beyond that, moving into that stillness, into the silence, into what I like to call a spiritual sleep. So during this time, if you feel that you're nodding off, I want you to go with it. If you feel you're emptying this void where you just feel nothing, you just feel that everything has faded away, faded like the stars in the morning sun, I want you to be there. I want you to lose me in the experience. Sandra and I were talking just recently about how can we help humanity? How can we lay that cornerstone of change so that we bring mediumship to the masses in the right way? And this has become a new way of life. And I was saying to Sandra just now, as a tutor, I find it very different in the sense that I can't see you. I can't hear your voice. I see a device, and I sometimes see myself talking back, or I see Sandra smiling. And so for me, it's very, very strange. This is a new way of life, but it's become the norm at this moment. At this time that we are facing, there is a fire raging with no heat or no smoke, and it's forced this world to stop. Now, some people can call this a disaster. And if you have been touched by this virus, it is absolutely destructive. But it's also an opportunity for you and I to look at the world slightly differently. A few months ago, there was not a plane in the sky, and we were able to hear the voices of the birds singing. We were able to see the plants flourishing. We were able to see the sky a deeper color. And that showed within a certain amount of months how if we would withdraw back, the world can flourish. And at this moment, speaking to the spirit world, I said to them, how can I serve you the best? And the answer I get back is what the world requires is a lot of healing and a lot of love, which will then help heal humanity. So if you are developing at the moment and feel that your development may be going in a slightly different way, or it may not be blossoming how it should be, it could be because we are reacting to the need of the unseen world. But sitting in the power is like feeding the true body. We have two bodies. We have our physical body. And how much did I spend on this top? How much do I spend making myself trying to look good, feel good? But this body one day will die. This body that is borrowed from the earth must return back to it. But how much time do we spend with our true body, the body that will live beyond death's touch and will carry us for eternity? The true body that allows mediumship to flourish. And sitting in the power is sitting within that other body. So the more you spend in that other body, the more nourishment it will give you. But it also opens a door to consciousness. It opens a door to the abilities that are there. Now, the spirit world is all around us, and we are very much in their world. So is it the spirit world that switches the mediumship on, or is it our soul that ignites and moves and then presents the mediumship? It's an interesting question, isn't it? And some of us may have different views upon this matter, but I believe that it's the soul that moves, and that itself quickens and allows the mediumship to blossom. So this short time we will spend together, I'm going to take you through a form of inspiration, following some sorts of footprints that I've trod before, but I want you to adapt it to your own needs. And I want you to lose yourself in this experience. I want you to stop worrying about, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Let me worry for you. Let me take that burden away from you and let me worry. I've got broad shoulders. Let me take away the problems. I'll give them back to you, of course, afterwards, because I'm not that strong. But for this short period of time, it would be interesting that if you would allow me to enter your world and you to enter the madness of my mind, and hopefully that we place a footprint from a footstep upon the journey of unfoldment. So will you come on a journey with me? Will you draw a line in the sand of what you may have known or been taught before and say, empty-handed do I stand, and let's see where we can go. So we've tag teamed tonight. Sandra is going to do the mechanics because I'm no good at it. My job is to try my best to get myself into that power so that we can lead you on that journey. So we tag team. Hopefully we will be a good partnership and we will do good things together. So if you are happy, if you are in a safe place where you can feel yourself being safe and relaxed and free to let go of the wants and desires, and just be present in the presence of now. So Sandra's going to start the music, and hopefully it will please you as we go on a journey, you and I. A journey wherever it will lead will be right for you at this moment. So get yourself comfortable. As I lean close to the camera, you can see up my nose. I just want you to be relaxed. So close your eyes to this world. And as you close your eyes to this, I want you to listen. Listen to the sounds of your room. What can you hear? What sounds kiss your mind? As you listen to your environment, what else can you hear? Can you hear the sound of everyday life? Acknowledge and accept that you are present in your environment. And accept now that every time you may hear the sounds of distractions, it will take you deeper into this place of peace. But as you accept these words, I would like you to become aware of how your body feels at this time. And I would like you to give your body the permission it needs to relax, but also to heal. For every muscle will begin to relax. As you become aware, as the body slowly finds its rest, of the rise and fall of the breath, to the gentle beat of your heart. You begin to relax as the thoughts may come and go. And will fade. As your mind enters this moment of peace, may we offer these words to move through you like the rays of the sun through the pane of glass. as you and I turn to the great power that is known by many names and many symbols around this world. To the Great Spirit, to whom we sit this day, may we find the strength to climb those steps to the altar of peace and drink the milk of human kindness as we invite those who are unseen to blend with mind and heart, so that we can offer the love as we can offer ourselves in service, so that we can serve humanity and the gifts that have been given can ultimately be shared. But before that day comes, let us become one and take what is needed for your world. And with those words that are dipped in the oil of love, rain down upon your being, washing away the dust of the past, bring in a sense of peace to this moment. For every thought that comes and arises with this moment, may they fall like drops of rain. That soaks deep within our Mother Earth, for you at this time, as we arise to walk the path of peace. You relax further. With the falling of the autumn leaves, fall so gently, only to dust the cool grass as their time has come and now must return. finding their place of rest in this moment of peace. As you relax further, as these words are like a stream that moves so softly through your awareness, carrying you a little further, letting go a little more. That great force of that stream that carries you to the banks of the river, where a stronger peace continues to flow and touches and kisses your consciousness, leading you further to the ocean of peace. For every drop of rain has met the great ocean. The ocean that is older than time. That has seen the rise of the sun and stood in silence as the sun has set. That has given rise to the stars that have been hidden by the greater light. Seen but never touched. That you and I, who bathe in the ocean of peace, are the mirrors of one another. As we are one, one in the light of the unseen world that is always there, watching and waiting for your love. And through this moment, as my words slowly fade, continue to drift, as we are in the presence of consciousness, the great ocean that wraps around this earth, that will never dry, but will grow. And you will never fade away, but only become brighter as each moment you draw breath, for each moment that your love continues to flow. So swim in this ocean, be present in consciousness, just for a moment. as these words come to meet you, like a wave that moves upon the golden shores. May the wave of love wash upon you. In the time of peace, in the silence of who you are, may you accept that you are a gift from God. That within you there is that divine power that will survive death and will shine forever. A love that is deeper than the ocean, holds stronger than the sun. For when you find peace, when you feel that divine love, you are in the power that ebbs and flows through us all. May your life be enriched. May your prayers be felt and answered. May your hopes and dreams become the reality as happiness and health will strengthen for every beat of your heart. And as these words disturb that place of rest, may we leave footprints in the sands of time. For when you are moved, you can return to this place of peace, free of time and distractions. As that ocean will never dry. So once again, would like you to start to become aware of sounds that have always been there. As you begin to deepen your breath, as you slowly move back to bodily consciousness, back into the hands of time. But as you slowly return, you bring back that peace and that love. As you begin by deepening your breath, and strengthening your thoughts, as your thoughts become louder, and when you can, by moving your fingers, moving your toes, bringing life back into your being. And when you can, and when you feel comfortable, you can open your eyes back into the here and now, back into this moment, to be back in the presence of now. Even though that the music falls silent, you can sit in the silence or in the company of music. It's important that you realize, even though you may have joined later, before or after we began, it's important that you realize that you can access this stream of power as you are a part of it. You are the power. As a medium, we have to dip into that source, and that source then feeds the mediumistic awareness. It feeds the other body, and the more times you spend within it, you start to understand that you are connected to that God force, if you will. A good medium is able to move with the power, but also change the atmosphere of a room and become sensitive, so that you will find the strength to speak to those who have lost their voice. No one is ever lost when they die. The only thing we truly lose is the voice that we call out and say we've not gone anywhere. And as a medium, as a voice for the unseen world, it is your responsibility to carry that message to those who are in need. As you become the healer between the two worlds, you heal the need of the unseen world. You take that burden away from them, and you bring comfort to the ones who are having a sore heart at this moment. You and I are lucky that we understand that there is a world beyond this world, and we will never die. The body that is borrowed must be returned, but the memory and love of who we are will continue, and the love will only get stronger. This is my thoughts on how we move with power. And have you ever asked yourself a question of where your soul lives within your being? Have you ever searched for it? Meditation will help find that answer, or may lead you to a place where you believe. And then over time, you may understand some greater knowledge. I believe that our soul resides where our happiness is, where we feel that undivine love and affection and happiness and memory. If I was to show you my baby bunnies, which are 3 weeks old, some of you will have that moment, and some of you may say, oh, I'm not too sure. But where you feel that or that not too sure, maybe that is where the soul resides. Some of us may find it tucked behind our heart. Some of us may find it within our belly. You are unique in every sense of the word. It's where you experience that gentle touch. So if you wanted me to advise you on how to unfold whatever gifts you have, I would simply ask you, first of all, why do you want to do this? But also, where is your soul? And this is something that you can contemplate on. And some of you may say that's very boring, but we need to lay the first brick. The first brick will be the foundations for everything else to grow. As mediums, we get thrown into the experience. We get thrown into that mental practice of working and saying, I am aware and I give this, I am showing this and that. But then after we've had our schooling, we then start to look at the philosophy of mediumship, trying to find how things move and understand. I don't like using the word mechanics, because mechanics can break. It can be adapted, it can be recycled, if you will. It is this knowing of how the power moves with you, what moves you, what enables you to do what you can do, and how others may express it in a different way. For myself, altered states is something that I feel that I am stronger with, and where my heart lies at this moment. And you may say, Scott, how do you develop the altered states to the trance states? And I say simply by sitting in the power and in the presence of the spirit world, and looking at the wonderful philosophers of the past. Silver Birch, who spoke through his instrument Maurice Barbanel, gave us glimpses of truth. How we turn to the spirit world and say, how, as mediums, do you want us to serve you? And the simple thought came back when someone asked, how do you talk to us? And Silver Birch, through his wonderful instrument, Maurice Barbanel, said, the activity of your world is the silence of ours. The silence of your world becomes the activity of ours. It is only when one's mind is quiet, then we truly hear and experience. I don't know if you have experienced something very similar to what I have. I find I become more active when I go to bed. I become aware of the presence of the spirit world when I'm just slowly drifting into that peace. Maybe then it is reminding me what Silver Birch said, the activity of your world, the activity of mind is the silence of the spirit world. Maybe the silence of your mind becomes the activity of theirs. So as a medium, we must sit quietly, but be present in that moment, getting to know what is happening around us, listening to the sounds beyond the sounds, the feeling beyond that feeling, and accepting that this is a gift to be shared when it is appropriate. If you ask me, Scott, how does mediumship truly work? I would honestly answer back and say, I don't know. It works like this for me, but now I need you to find your own way. We can say the wonderful words that Gordon Higginson said, that the spirit world is interested in you. Now go away and find out what that interest is. What he was truly saying was go and ask them. Search for it. Sit and be still and be quiet. Don't necessarily look for answers from other people. Turn to those who love you the most. For 24 years, I have been animated in the wonderful subject of physical mediumship. Physical mediumship may be known to you, or it may be the first time you've heard it or experienced it. Physical mediumship is different to mental mediumship, even though that the power is still the same. As it courses through my being, it responds in a different way. So as a mental medium, people will stand upon platform or sit in front of you and say, through my senses, I become aware of your father. I know that your mother used to shop from the catalogue Avon, that on your mobile phone you have taken another picture and you have looked and touched it today. So through their senses, they bring that person back to life. But as a physical medium, we become a pane of glass. And as the power moves through us, that you yourself will hear the voices coming from the room, voices that may be familiar to you, or you'll be hearing them for the first time. But if we are to go a little bit deeper, that as the body reacts, it releases the gas that becomes solid and manipulated by the mind of our friends. And those who you love temporarily cloak themselves within this vibration and become from invisible to visible, to become unseen, to be felt. You would feel their hand will be warm. If your father had a mole or a mark on the finger, they will recreate it and you'll be able to feel it. The hand will be strong to hold you. The voice will be comforting and tears will fall. For when one is truly in that experience, having your father wrap their arms around you, for you to feel the gentle breath of someone who you are being reminded of, is truly magical. I believe, in my humble opinion, that physical mediumship is the ultimate proof, as long as it's done correctly. Of course, ego is always hungry but never full, and sometimes the medium may want to be like Tinkerbell. They need applause to live. They need to continue to be that star that shines. And unfortunately, the wants and desires of the medium silence the wants and desires of our friends. Doing mediumship must be a selfless act that you have the power to bring people back and remind everyone that the greatest lie in this world is death. Through this wonderful gift of physical mediumship, for many years I sat within a room with a group of people, and then all of a sudden, the happiness that we were exuding, the excitement of serving our friends, all of a sudden a voice was heard from the center of the room. A voice that said, "Can you hear me?" And which we responded and said, "Yes, we can, my friend. What would you like to say?" To hear the gasp of overcoming of emotion as a husband stood within the center of the room and said, "Happy anniversary, my darling." To hear someone in the audience cry out, "Is that you? Is that you?" And then all of a sudden the voice responding, "Yes, my dear. Yes, my darling. Oh my God. Oh my God." And then you heard the footsteps. You heard the breath. And you were able to be a part of seeing someone being reunited. Someone who entered the seance room broken now floats out the room with the confidence to know that death has not taken their loved one. Or on other occasions, you would sit there and you would hear the dog barking. You would hear the dog run out the cabinet barking and jump up at the owner and lick the owner's face. Or the parrot that flew out and sang, "Pretty boy, pretty boy," hearing this 79-year-old woman talk back to her beloved parrot. She didn't want to hear from her husband. She didn't want to hear from her brother. She wanted to hear from the parrot. She got her wish. Or having, on another occasion, to have the cat materialize, jumping on to the owner's lap, which was euthanized in the morning, but was alive a few hours later, going over to the owner and starting to knead it. You know how cats do with their claws. Then jumping on my lap, started to do the same on my knee, to jump on the floor. At the same time, that this cat was running around the room, a voice was being heard of Uncle Ted talking to his niece. Don't worry, I had the cat. To have the spirit child who was controlling the situation run out the room chasing the cat saying, come back, come back. And all of us roaring with laughter. Happiness crept into a room that some of us would fear. But I saw it as heaven. Being so young and so fortunate to have ingrained within my development, seeing how impactful mediumship is, changed my life forever. I have hundreds of stories, more than I can ever count. A voice that I may have heard once and I may only hear again when I die. To have the drag queen, Dolly, walk out the cabinet with her stilettos on. She used to call them her stellies, and she would walk out in full regalia with a sequin dress on, a wig stored really high so you could hear it scratch the ceiling as she walked. And as she walked out, with one hand she would have a child and say, I believe this one belongs to you. To hear the mother gasp and the child play. To then have Dolly walk round and straighten your collar or stroke your shoulder or rub your hair. Brought this believing to knowing. One time that she materialized, and she was only 5'9", but she was over 7 foot with heels and wigs on. She came out with the wig really tall, and as she walked, the apex of the room caught her wig, and you heard her scream and say, I'm caught, I'm caught, I'm caught. And then she dematerialized and rematerialized looking like Cher with her hair right down. She used to say, my hair's going all down my Jim and Jack, which means back. Royale, all down the Jim and Jack, she used to say. Or in other times that she would materialize her friend, Fat Bunty, who was another drag queen. Dolly and Fat Bunty would come and converse with us, bring us laughter. She used to say, look at me, it's like a hoop and a stick. She's the fat one, she's the thin one. And they used to make us laugh, which made us give power for our friends to then use, for them to bring back the loved ones that we miss so terribly. Or to have Bapu Gandhi materialized to give us guidance and wisdom about peace, how to bring peace, how to make the leaders of our worlds listen to the masses. And as he would come over and touch our hair, petals will fall as apports, as gifts, as tokens. But not only would we have Bapu, we would have 3 to 4 loved ones walk out. These nights would last, only felt like a heartbeat, but would last for hours. These days are now in the past, but I pray one day that they come back, but they come back stronger for our friends. I will never deny the spirit world, and I hope that neither of you will deny them. That if you are struggling at this moment with the unfolding of your gift, don't seek people like me for answers. Go to the spirit world. Sit there quietly and say, this seems to be rocks and stones upon my life. What can I do? They may not tell you what you can do. Then you turn to your soul and ask your soul, as this has presented itself to me, given by you, what can I do? And hopefully that the soul and your mind become one, and your troubles fade like the stars in the morning sun. throughout my development that I found many pitfalls. I find very many troubles along the path, but troubles that made me be more robust, but also troubles that make me the better person. My peculiarities within my unfoldment is my peculiarities, having objects fall from nothingness. This very statue fell from nothing and landed within a room, a sealed room, with just a group of friends who just wanted to sit for the spirit world. This is an apport, an object brought by the spirit world and dropped. And throughout the development, we had hundreds upon hundreds of objects, ranging from simple coins to leather-bound chairs, from leather-bound chairs to ornaments like this, silver necklaces, which had meaning to the person that they were given to. Sitting there thinking, I can't do it no more. I've reached a stage where I can't go any further. And that is where the most important step is about to be taken. Thinking that I could not do any more was the night that the voice found the ears of which they needed to speak to. For me, sitting thinking I will give this up and truly meaning it, and then giving rise to a voice that spoke and now continues to speak to this day. Never give up, never give in, as you never know as the sun will set or rise again on a better day, that you are precious, you are important to the unseen world and to our friends who are crying out at this moment for you and I to give healing and positivity to the world and to humanity. So use this time if you feel you are going through your winter months, but the leaves have to fall for new growth to come. So as you sit to the power, you are providing a service that may not be seen by your eyes, but are being felt and used by those who live in the invisible world. For every good thought you give, for every sympathetic thought when you say that poor person, you are giving a piece of love and healing to those who are less fortunate. You may never see the results of your mediumship, but when you die, and die you will, you may see for yourself, for when you enter the spirit world, you may see all those people that you have served and helped. You do it not for reward. You do it because your soul has told you. Your soul made that promise to be the medium, to be the healer, to be the humanitarian, to be that person that shines light on someone's darkest day. And that is who you are. So maybe when I ask you, why do you want to be a medium? You can simply say, I don't know why, but my soul has told me that this is my purpose in life. The road ahead is unseen and unknown, but I gallantly take a step forward, knowing that when my foot touches the golden sand, I will be a better person for it. So we plan tonight to be a simple way of thinking, and how we have gone from there to now to this place. I don't know if I have satisfied your curiosity, answered some thoughts, but blindly have we walked, and silently we have done our work. So I hope that you've enjoyed the madness of my mind. I hope that the tag team between Sandra and I have served you well. And I want to thank each of you for allowing me that opportunity to be with you. And I hope that one day that we will meet, be it here or be it over there. If you don't believe in the spirit world, and if you die before me, come and let me know that you arrived safely. If I die before you, I'll haunt you. I will rattle those chains and make sure that you become not only a believer, a knower, that you will never die. It is the body that will give up, but the soul will live on. So thank you for listening to me. I hope I've brought you some kind of entertainment. So I'm going to hand you back to our fearless leader, Sandra, because she has a couple of words for you. Take care, guys.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
thank you so much, Scott. And what you may or may not know is since lockdown happened back in the end of March and April, our friends Scott and Phil and Carrie, who are great mediums, could no longer travel to do what we do for work. So we just brainstormed the idea of bringing courses online. And so every month on Mondays, we have been sitting with Scott, sitting in the power, and just for our own soul. We don't know what the road holds, or if we're destined to become a medium, a trance medium, or an evidential medium, or just someone who can get a stronger connection with our own loved ones. But it's really been neat having that unfold. And on Thursdays, we've been in psychic and medium class with Carrie and Phil. And Fridays, Scott has been doing trance mediumship demonstrations. So we invite you, if you want to join a board, you can. Plenty of free things going on. On Sundays, we have Soul Quest. It's a moment to really give healing, followed by our Sunday gathering, which is a non-denominational service. And we celebrate with love and prayer and an address and music and even a mediumship demonstration at the end. We've got lots of good things going on. Our loved ones work through us, through our imagination. So I want you just to imagine right now that around you are your loved ones, even your pets that are no longer with you. Not be able to see them with our eyes, but we can feel them. They're around. So sitting in the power, I suggest you replay this and develop a practice in it. And you can just watch how your life unfolds. You're in the perfect place, the perfect time, never too old, never too young. For some reason, you've chosen to be here with us to watch this, even if it's the replay. So just take it as like a little silent knocking on your door to open up your soul. You never know what the future holds, but you, my friend, are loved and you are surrounded by so much love. So take our love. If you'd like to go to WeDon'tDieRadio.com, listen to one of the 350 episodes, click on the calendar. There's so many things that we will continue to have going on. And just take our love, and we hope to see you soon. Bye from Scott and I.